What's up, guys? It is a beautiful day in Somerville. It is getting colder, it's getting more of the fall season, but I love the fall, so that's not too much of a bummer for me. Yes, the summer was an amazing time, but in the fall is when I get back into my roots, back into the old days, my memories. I get to reminisce. It's nostalgic. It reminds me of the time that school was starting, and I just love the fall. My birthday is in October, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, so fall is a great time. Come on fall, so I love fall. I can't wait for the season to really come up. That's why I started wearing these layers. What do you guys think? Let me know about the style. I'm trying it out. But anyways, today I want to talk about happiness and the techniques and mindsets you can use to be happy no matter how shitty your life is right now. Me personally, I just graduated from college. I moved out here to Boston with nothing but a dream. I lost $2,000. I don't own a mattress. I'm living at the bottom of the bottom. I don't know anybody. Life is pretty shitty for me right now, but I'm optimistic, I'm young, and I am resilient, and I'm hungry. I'm here to hustle, and so it doesn't bother me because I have the mentality, I have the mindset, I know what it takes to do what I want. I know what I want, and I'm gonna do what it takes to get it. And that gives me the mental strength to keep on going. Even though my life is pretty shitty right now, not gonna lie, I'm still happy. And I don't want to be complaining that my life is pretty shitty. It's just objectively, I'm in a situation now where most of the comforts I had throughout life, where there's a guardian or there's someone who took care of me, that is gone now, and I'm doing everything on my own. And I chose that life so that I could grow up and that I could become someone competent. But anyways, living in this life, I've figured out how to be happy no matter how tough and shitty my situation is. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Let's get it. So the first technique is optimism. So everybody knows, is the glass half full or is it half empty? The optimist says that it's half full. The pessimist says it's half empty. The realist says it's half full and half empty. Everybody knows that joke, right? But being an optimist is a lot more than being delusional or being irrational or just being naive that life is going to work out for the best. Optimism, and the way that I'm using it, is having the faith that life will get better and that no matter what happens, you will be okay. So you might count that as something else, but that's the way that I view it as. As long as you believe that no matter what happens in life, whether things are good or bad, that you'll be okay, that's the way that I look at optimism. It's choosing to be positive no matter how difficult it can be. And I'm very deliberate about what I say in terms of it being a conscious choice, because you have to choose to be optimistic. It's very difficult for it to be born into you. We have these biases that make us interpret negative information more pronounced, that it emphasizes negative information more. That's why it's important to be conscious and make it a practice to instead focus on the positive information. Being an optimist essentially means when a lot of bad stuff happens and a lot of good stuff happens, choosing to focus on the good stuff than the bad stuff. For example, say your doctor looks at an x-ray scan and says, okay, there's a chance that you might have a tumor. It could be benign or it could be malignant. But the doctor says that the tumor is most likely benign, but there is a chance that it could be cancer. The optimist would say, okay, well, the odds are in my favor that it is benign, and so likely it's not cancer. But even if it is cancer, then I have the faith that I will be able to deal with it as it comes by. Now, this takes a lot of mental strength and it takes a lot of practice. You have to notice your negative thought patterns as they occur, and you have to not beat yourself up every time you experience those negative thoughts, but instead coax them into the positive. So every time you experience a negative thought, you have to be like, okay, that was a negative thought, I recognize it's negative. Now I have to consciously counteract that thought with a positive one. You think that, oh, okay, I'll never follow my dreams, I'll never accomplish my goals. That's what the pessimist would say. Life is too hard, I'll never finish my goals. You think that, right? You think that negative thought, I'll never accomplish my dreams. But then you deliberately tell yourself, okay, well, I understand that's a negative thought, but I have faith that I will accomplish my dreams, or I'll work harder to accomplish them. So the second method for happiness is to be grateful. So what does that mean? So gratitude meditation is scientifically proven to increase happiness. And the reason why gratitude is such an important feeling in order to feel happy is that once you realize what you already have, that's when you suddenly start to feel like what you want and everything that you don't have doesn't matter as much. And it's such a huge experience because gratitude goes so far. When people are humble, when they're gracious, when they're grateful, that is a sign of higher status. That is someone who is a good person. Just think about it. If you are grateful for your life, if you're grateful that you can breathe this air, that you have limbs, that you can walk, then suddenly all your problems, they start to minimize, right? They don't seem as huge because they aren't actually as big as they seem. When you take a step back and you zoom in and you zoom out on what you actually have, you have a lot. You have a roof over your head, most likely. You have lungs that can breathe. You have limbs. You can speak English. You live in a country. You don't have to forage for food. You don't have to worry that a tiger is going to eat you. Life is good. And when you go through those motions of realizing, okay, I have people who love me, I have parents, I have this, I have that, instead of focusing again on the negatives, that, oh, they have this, I don't have this, they make me look bad, I'm comparing myself to other people, that's when you are going to fill your thoughts with negative energy, and you're not going to be feeling good because you're focusing on the things that are wrong with your life. And if you focus on the negative, then ultimately you will be negative. I'm speaking in a very kind of generic terms of happiness is positive, is good, is all this. But happiness, what it comes down to is living a life that you've designed to be positive, to be good, being optimistic, just focusing on the positive and acknowledging the negative, but choosing to put your mental energy into the positive. Same thing with gratitude. If you focus on what you have and how much happiness it brings to you, that is what's gonna bring you up. It's impossible to be sad when you're understanding that things could get worse, right? In any situation, things can always get worse. Believe me, no matter how tough things are. If your laptop broke and all your files on the computer are gone, you can't save it. Well, it could have been worse. Your laptop could have broke and your car could have gotten stolen, or your house could have burned down, or someone could have gotten hurt. There's always a worse side, and when you realize that truly things are way better than they actually feel, and you start to step back and look from a bird's eye view of what your life actually is, then you can start to piece together yourself again. And it doesn't matter so much what you've lost, because loss is painful and sadness is a part of life. But when you allow that part of your life to rule you, you will be stuck there. And so pain is a growing process. Pain is meant to help us grow. And so if you don't find a way to process that pain, if you don't find a way to make that pain useful, then you will be stuck in that stage where the pain began. Until you are able to do something with the pain, you will be stuck there and you will not grow because you cannot get past it. You have to get past your pain in order to be happy. And when you are grateful for what you have, suddenly everything that you've lost and all the pain that you feel, it becomes insignificant to what you do have. That is why gratitude is so important. So the third and final technique is flow. So if you've heard of the concept before, flow is this idea that when you are fully immersed in an activity, then time stops and you are in a optimized state of challenge and growth. You're not too frustrated because that activity is too difficult, and you're not bored because it's too easy. It's just at the spot where your competence is being challenged at the level that it's supposed to be. This is exactly what makes play so fun when you're a kid, because you're mastering some type of game, you're mastering some type of challenge or an activity, because everything's new to you. And when you're playing, you're playing at a level where everything is exactly at your competence level. And if it gets too difficult at that level, then you'll be upset because you keep losing, or you'll stop playing because it's too easy. And that same type of play activity when you're an adult happens when you are doing activities that challenge you but allow you to grow. And that's why I emphasize lifting so much, because lifting is an activity that you can do that will always be able to push you to the next level, and you can always be in flow. Now everybody's different, some people find flow when they're playing music. I remember when I was in a band in high school, that's what happened to me. I would play the guitar and I would be so immersed in the feeling and the music and the sound and being with my band that time would just go by and I didn't even know that it went. It just stood still while I was there. I was completely immersed. I wasn't thinking, I was completely in instinct. I was in my element. And that's what the feeling of flow is. So in order to make your life the happiest it can be, the strategy is to maximize the amount of time you spend in flow. So that means maximize the amount of time you spend doing activities that you can grow at the highest level of your competence. For me, that means making sure I'm putting in time for lifting, doing bodybuilding, making these videos, playing music, going out with my friends, pushing my comfort zone, and continually improving. That's why the personal development space is so important to me, because I want to be optimized in how I live my life. And so if you maximize the amount of time you're in flow, that's how you make yourself live the most happy life. Now, if you are in a very low state, if you are depressed or anxious or struggling, and you have a lot of trauma energy and a lot of your emotions are repressed and suffocated and you feel constricted, then doing an activity that will allow you to experience flow, that's how you release, you expand, you become free, and your energy is refreshed. A lot of people think that, after working out you would feel tired, but the opposite is actually true. If you go in, and obviously sometimes you actually do feel tired, but a lot of the times if you go in and you hit a new max, a new PR, then you feel amped for the rest of the day. You accomplish something. The thing is, without a goal, then we cannot experience positive emotion. Without an aim that we're headed towards, then there's nothing to indicate that we are achieving in life. And if we don't do anything that gives us a sense of gratification or achievement, or success, for following our plan, for giving us certainty about where we are in life, then we experience no positive emotion. And then you are completely and utterly just defeated, and you are zero. You have no energy. You are just wasted, and you are depressed and sad because there's no aim for you to go to. The world is just chaos for you. And so my recommendation for maximizing flow and to get out of that kind of low state is to find an activity that you can get immersed into. Find an activity that you can see yourself growing and getting better at, and doing that activity at a level where you don't try to go too hard and get burnt out or frustrated when progress slows down, or you find that you are progressing and then once it gets harder, then you quit at it. Find something that you can do and you can get better at, and you can get better at indefinitely. For me, that's lifting. For some people, lifting is not their life, but for me, that's lifting, and that's why I recommend lifting to anybody who's just lost, because you will find your way in the weights, in the gym, getting stronger, seeing progress. If you stick with the program, you will grow. And so no matter where you are in life, fitness is something that can help you grow and experience flow. You guys, here's one more bonus tip about how to always be happy. Get Chinese food. Bro, you'll never go wrong getting Chinese food. The thing is, how can you be unhappy when you're eating the best food out there? It's impossible. Anyways, back to the video. Well guys, those are my 3 techniques for finding happiness in life. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am happy to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys have any different tips or tricks about how to be happy in life? Where do you guys find flow in life? I am going to get some snacks. It is snack time. The day is about to end, but life is good. If you're having a hard time, it'll get better, don't worry. But anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe if you learned anything or were entertained today. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss next week's video. And as always, I love you guys, and I will see you next Thursday.